Good afternoon. Patrick here from Have Cheetah Will View, and welcome to 8 Questions with. Um, Let me get a couple of things popping here, and then we'll get this show underway. So yeah, um, pretty excited to bring you our today's guest, the lovely Karen Cliche. I have been a fan of hers since forever. Um, she's just been she's just a dynamite actress and a complete badass. I first saw her act in a series called Adventures Inc. back in 2002. Before the streaming thing blew up, there was a period of TV back in the late 90s, mid 90s to early 2000s, where syndicated programming was just massive, um, totally huge. Uh, hey, John, how are you, sir? Hey, nice get. Laura Wilson's it's a great guest. She's really nice. Um, uh, so during the period of syndication, there were a bunch of really high fun shows being made. Hercules, Xenia, the Beastmaster, the Lost World, um, the one movie, the series I first saw Karen in when she played Mackenzie Previn. That's Adventures Inc. And we'll talk about that. And and then she went over to do Mutant X, which is one of my very favorite superheroes, either movies or series. Mutant X is right up there, probably easily top five, top 10. Um, and she started there in that. And then she did another series called Young Blades. And then she did a season on Sci-Fi Channel. She did the rebooting, reimagining of Flash Gordon. And she's also done a lot of other movies and TV series such as Galador, the Defender of the Outer Dimensions, Vampire High, Big Wolf on Campus. So we're going to talk to her about her earlier career, and of course, my thing is I want to know what it was like working with Michael Ironside. Um, she is awesome. John, Laura Wilson is a very yeah, she's cool as hell. Um, so obviously for us today is Karen is going to be like at this point in time she's going to be the most well-known person we've had on the show for sure, as far in terms of uh, fame and fortune. As far as name recognition goes, she's going to be our biggest guest. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous for that because I've watched her act throughout the years, and when she agreed to do the interview, I was really well. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Um, I think what I really admire, and we'll talk about that with her too, is that she stopped her career right in right when it's at its peak. Um, and she got married in 2005, and she started to start a family. So she had a daughter, and she raised her daughter in the middle of her career. Yeah, me too, John. This is a big one for me. This is the big one for me. This is the type of interview I've been looking for. Somebody who's been very well known, and I'm grateful to Karen for coming on and doing this. Um, she just seems like just a terrific person. And like I said, I mean, I love Mutant X. I'm a huge Mutant X fan. So I'm like, of course, I'm a big Adventures Inc. fan too. I have not been able to find that series for a reasonable price. Anytime I've ever seen that series out and about, it's been worth it. People are asking hundreds of dollars for it. Um, I'm not, I'll be honest with you. I do not know if Young Blaze got released for home video, and I do have Flash Gordon. I have the Flash Gordon, the single season that was released. I do got that. So I got 2 out of the 4. I could make it 3 out of the 4, but I have to be patient and try to find Adventure Inc. for a little bit less money. Not that it's not worth it, because it is, and we'll be talking about that too, because yeah, that's a heartbreaking story there about Adventures Inc. Um, that was really sad. Um, let's see. While I wait for her to get here, and wow, I already got 6 folks coming waiting. Thank you guys so much. Come on inside the room, please. By all means, you're more than welcome to come in and drop. Hi, hi, Emmy. How are you? Hey, Brian. Good to see you. Good to see you. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, so you can see more interviews such as this on here. Um, well, good, good. Yeah, feel free to come. Feel free to give us a sub, and then hit the notification bell and let you know whenever we do something like this again. Oh, yeah, yeah. I try to come on about 15 minutes before every show. Before the guest gets here, so I can say hi to you guys, and thank you for coming in, and hit the thumb button and all that good jazz. Of course, some of you older folks will know that. Oh, okay. Yeah, Karen seems really cool, doesn't she? She's also does some public service announcements. She showed one on her Instagram page, and I didn't realize that, but I had actually seen it. Um, Tiffany, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, yeah, I did not know. I did. Because I love a good PSA. I'll tell you right now, a good PSA, public service announcement. I love them. And I did not realize when I was watching a little bit of collection that she had actually done one. She did one for a boating. She did one for a boating PSA for Canada. Very, very scary, by the way, which is a good PSA. Yeah, I think that's where I first met her at. We started talking on Twitter, but we really didn't start talking until we met on Instagram, and then we started talking for. We've been talking for a while now. Super, super accessible, super nice lady. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I know you're sick, so by all means, if you just want to stay in the chat room and then go lay down, that'll be all right as well too. Just leave it on as a leave the interview on like a podcast or a radio program, and you can go back and relax. Yeah, you don't need to sit there and watch. You can just go back and watch and relax and listen to it. No, you know what? I don't know if forums are actually a thing anymore, Emmy. That's a really, I remember boards were huge back when the net first hit. Hey, Vincent. Mr. Bones is here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, man. As forums and rooms and yeah, I'm not sure exactly if those are still around. I mean, now you have groups. I mean, you have like things like Facebook groups, or I know some sites still have boards like I think, if I'm not mistaken, like DVD.com or Blu-ray.com. I still think it still has bulletin boards. Um, yeah, that's something that's gone pat in the past. I think Twitter and Instagram and Twitch have all have basically just superimposed it and made them obsolete. The King of Halloween is here. King of Pumpkins. Hobbs Hoare in the house. Yeah. And why I got a couple of minutes before our guest shows up, I should uh I should let you guys know what's on the calendar. Let's see. I'll be back tonight. About how's that for a calendar for you? I will actually be back tonight at 8 o'clock for our interview with Michael Baker. He will be here at 8. He'll be talking about he's a veteran character actor, and he'll be talking about his career and what's going on. What's it like to act in Texas? He's based in Dallas. No, I have never met her face to face, Emmy. I have never met her face to face. I have only talked to her. Um, I've talked to her. When I had Twitter, I don't have Twitter anymore. When I had Twitter, I talked to her. I talked to and Victoria Pratt. But and the time that I left, now this is weird. This is weird. The time that I left Twitter, when I left Twitter, Victoria was still married to TJ Scott. By the time that I actually got my Instagram going and got on Instagram and was catching up with some of the people on Twitter, Victoria had already had sadly, it is sad. I was shocked. I had no idea, but she got divorced from TJ, and she had been engaged and got married to Trace Atkins. That's how long it was between. I did not know that. I know Victor Webster's been very busy. He does a lot of Hallmark work. He does a lot of he's did a couple of the Scorpion King movies. Um, Hi, Barbara. How are you? Oh, you're in France. Oh, sweet. Well, by all means, I mean, if you'd like to, please consider giving us a sub. If you hit the subscription button, if I do any more shows like this, that way you can be notified that when I do this series 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, or I'm sorry, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I do the show 3 times a week. So, and I will be asking Karen about her love for Quebec. I promise you. That's one of the questions we'll be talking about. I know that she is most likely fluent in French and English. I mean, obviously English, but I'm sure she's fluent in French as well. Yes. Yes. What I'll do for that, Barbara, is when she comes, we'll see if she can see the chat. if she sees the chat, if she's able to see the chat, I will definitely you'll definitely be able to ask her questions. And there she is. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Yay! All
I'm
right.
usually much earlier. I'm such an early bird. I hate being late, but I had this application couldn't open on Safari, so I was like, ah! So I'm like screaming at my husband, get Chrome, get Firefox, get something. So I'm here. I made it.
Yes, we are actually talking about we got some of your fans are here and they're so excited. And are you able to see the background? Are you able to see the chat?
Let me see. Oh, I see comments here. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
good.
Okay, perfect.
Because I have a feeling that both Emmy and Barbara here, they
Yeah.
will be asking you French and they'll be asking you questions in French.
Allô, Amy. I do write her in French sometimes, but I'm much better in English. But hi, Barbara. Nice to see you. And hi, Patrick. Nice to see you in person.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm a fanboy. I'm a fanboy. I'm gonna fanboy out. I don't normally fanboy out. I'm pretty proud of that fact, but I'm fanboying out.
Ah, oh, that's
I'm
nice
so
to hear.
excited. I'm so excited. I was just telling how I first ran across you as an actress. I first saw you in Adventures Inc. And that's when you and I first started talking, we started talking about that show.
Yeah, it was
And
so fun.
yeah, this will be our Karen and my first face to face. But she also interviewed with me earlier on my blog. I will be running that interview in the description box after the show, so you guys can come by and take a look at it. But this is our first face to face. But we have been, gosh, you and I have been talking for years.
Yeah, that's what I love. There's people that I've been speaking with since a safe searching message board. Do y'all remember that? That was like 20 years ago.
They do. Emmy does. Emmy does. Yes, he was commenting on that.
Yeah, Emmy was on there, and one girl, Nicole, who's not on social media, but we still keep in touch. Yeah, there was a whole little gang there of Mutant X fans and Adventure Inc. fans, and it was such a great little community.
You and I met on Twitter initially, and then we just after I had to get rid of Twitter. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, you turn it on, it was just like I felt like I needed to take a shower after every time I looked at it.
Absolutely. You know what I did like during those, I'm going to call them the Trump years, and then that's it for politics now. But I was so addicted to it because it was just this bombardment of craziness. And then at one point I just went, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is stressing me out. I'm always like this. And so I moved my Twitter app to like my last page on my phone. And so now I barely go on there anymore. And it's much calmer there anyways now, but it was a bad vibe.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, all I wanted to do was just to, just to promote promote writing, promote the interviews, promote the movie reviews and whatnot. Nobody was listening. Nobody. It was because I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, because you would be able to post your post of what you've written. Okay, here's my new review, and then on WordPress you can go and see where your traffic comes from. And I would be getting next to zero from Twitter. They just didn't care. They were so busy on their own thing. It was like me, and it was like, wow. Because you remember the Fridays I used to do the Follow Fridays. I think I was the only one in my whole thing to do that. Every Friday, I get up there and I spend an hour just promoting everybody, and you never got it back. It used to be you got it back, but now you just didn't.
Yeah. It's very busy. It's very busy out there now. It's hard to break through the noise, right?
You know what? I don't even bother with it. I found YouTube. I got a nice community here, a lot of good friends. Instagram. I don't really like Facebook too much.
I got off Facebook ages ago.
Yeah, I noticed that because I went to get a picture, and because like if you take a picture from Google or anywhere else, Facebook doesn't like that. So they want you to have a specific, perimeter or parameters for you to post your picture. And it took me a little bit, but if I figured out the only pictures that Facebook will let you print on their event banners are pictures that's already on Facebook. And since you're not on Facebook and there's not very many pictures of you, that's why I was having a hard time finding a good picture.
Instagram's where it's at.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, you would think since they're owned by the same company that I could take a picture from you from Instagram and take it to Facebook. No, won't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can't promote like you can't share from Facebook to Instagram. You can from Instagram to Facebook. You can share that way, but you can't go the other way.
Yeah, and I think Instagram to Twitter you might be able to, or I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, it's a whole. The promotional aspect of it is just crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. But I want to. Wow, first thing I want to say too, right off the bat, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But man, hats off to you for placing your priorities number one. Because you took time off right in the peak, right, because let's face it, I mean, you were a star, and you took time. Yeah, trust me. You were a star, and you interrupted your career to start a family. I find that just completely I respect that so much, and I think it's cool.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, it wasn't even a hard decision. I can't even say that. But I remember being on Flash Gordon. So on Flash Gordon, I was 30. I was about 30 years old, 30 going on 31. And I always knew I wanted to be a mom, right, in my 20s, but I was just having way too much fun. And I knew that, these are my selfish years. And I knew the kind of mom that I wanted to be, you know what I mean? Like my mom was a stay-at-home mom who baked and cooked. Like, it's just it's the only type of mom that I know. So when it came time to like, oh my God, I need a baby, I was on Flash Gordon going, oh my God, I don't even want this series to go anymore. That's how obsessed I was. I was like, please don't go a second season. I know, maybe I jinxed it. Sorry, fans. But I was like, I just want to be a mom. And then when it didn't go, I was like, let's go, hubby. Let's get at it. And so when I got pregnant, that was my focus. That was my passion at the time, right? So it wasn't, like I said, a hard decision, and also that being famous to me was never my priority. Like I wasn't ever really that ambitious or that like, I didn't have a big career plan. I just was kind of like, la, 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 this is fun. This is what I love to do. I've always wanted to do this. So it wasn't like, I didn't see it as a big sacrifice. I saw it really as like, I want to be a mom so bad. And I'm really glad I did, because I just got to be home with her and nurse her all day if I wanted to, get fat if I wanted to, just whatever, without a pressure, without the stress of my other actress friends who I saw going to auditions with their 1 month old and stressing out. And I just said, you know what, that's just not for me. I didn't even know if I was going to go back to acting, to be honest. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I just took it one day at a time.
I was really excited when you announced it, because you had started talking about the book 365.
Mm-hmm.
You were featured in that. Actually, you and another young lady who I talked to named Mariah Owen were in that book.
Yes. Yeah. Mariah in Toronto.
Yeah, I love Mariah. She's so sweet.
Yeah.
So you guys, in the book, and then you announced that you were gonna come back, and I was like, oh, yeah, perfect. You're gonna come back, hit the ground running. How long were you actually gone? I mean, you were gone. How many years?
So really, like the first 4 years, I was in full on mom mode. Like I didn't do anything. I did some voice work a little bit. So definitely from 2010 to 2014, I was gone. And then Lost Girl, I believe, asked me to come on and do a guest star. So I did that. And then I was like, okay, I remember this. I like this. Yeah, maybe I'll come back. So I did a couple more things in Toronto. And then when we moved to Ottawa, like we live in Ottawa, Canada, like for almost 6 years now. And we moved here because my mom is here. My husband was traveling a lot. He's also in the industry, not as an actor, but behind the scenes kind of thing. So he was gone a lot. And I was solo parenting most of the time in Toronto with no family there, no help. And we just went, and I was actually dabbling in other things. I was doing some event marketing management. I was, trying out some sales stuff, advertising. Like I just had all these other passions that I was like, let me try. Like, it's okay to be more than one thing in life, right? So I just wanted to give them a try. And there was kind of some momentum there. And So when we moved to Ottawa, it's because my mom and my sister are here. And I said, at least then I can get back working, whatever that form takes. And Sienna's in good hands, right? So it's actually been a really good thing. I do a lot of voice work. So I do a lot of voice work in Montreal, Ottawa, some in Toronto. At the time I was managing events. So I was traveling across Canada and doing festivals and events like that. And so just opened up this, bunch of opportunities. And then I just got to a point after COVID when a lot of that stopped, my extra work things. And I just felt like, you know what? I think I'm really ready to go back. And I think I have a lot more to offer. And I think I'm even maybe, dare I say, a better actor now, just from life experience and motherhood. And I wanted to give it another shot. So it's been about 4 months. I've come close to a couple gigs. Oh, when you screen test and then you don't book it, it's
I was gonna ask you, did you get the one comedy gig you were going for?
No, and I have to say, I'm like, what? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it was between me and another girl, and I don't know what happened. It's okay. I really do believe that it may hurt at the time. It hurts in the moment because you're like, what? And it went so well. And I also believe that, other chances will come and the right thing will happen at the right time. Right. You have to think that way.
Of course, I'm going to be well, the one thing I know since you're in Canada and you've done some Lifetime movies now, and I'm wondering, have you started trying to point your way? And I know some of the guys in here are going to laugh because they already know the question I'm going to be asking. But you know what? I love it anyway. But you know what? It seems to me like right now you would be perfect to do some Hallmark movies.
Well, I think I've done.
You like Christmas, right?
Well, if you want to check out a good movie. So when I moved to Ottawa again, like when we moved here, they do a lot of the Lifetime and Hallmark movies here in Ottawa, actually, like a lot of Christmas ones, but a lot of those dramatic Lifetime movies. Yeah. And so they offered me a part, the lead in Killer Mom. So Killer Mom is a Lifetime movie. And that's also what kind of sparked things when I got to Ottawa. I started working. I was doing about a Lifetime movie a year. And those are fun, man. Killer Mom. If you want to see me at my evil best, watch it. It's good. It's good. Those are fun. They're just fun.
I was really amazed when you said how much you love comedy because your reputation is made being a badass. I mean, I watched you with Adventures Inc. and I'm just sitting there going like, holy cow, man. I'm just, like, who didn't like turn their head and go like, who's this girl right here, man? She's just lighting it up. And she's holding her own with Michael Biehn. It's like, and it was such an exciting show. And you and I have talked about this and I guess we'll talk about it now, but that show broke my heart. A lot of people's heart.
Yeah. It made such a huge impact losing Jesse. Like, there's one thing, I only knew him for that year, right? I only met him when I started the show and when we shot in Toronto for about 4 months. And then we took the show to Bristol, England, and then Marseille, France. So we were basically in Europe for about 5-6 months shooting that show. And that's when Jesse and I really got close. And we had such a brother-sister relationship. Like he was like my little younger, annoying brother. And we would just hang out all the time together, whether it was in our hotel rooms, just like talking or like going to clubs and just having fun. And I knew his family too by this point. Like it just, when we said goodbye in Marseille, I remember us it was rare that he got like deep and meaningful. He was really like a joker and really jovial guy. But when we hugged goodbye, and it's going to make me tear up, but it's just, we just had a really real moment. Maybe one of the very few real moments that we had together where he was just like talked about what a great experience this was and how he kind of was a little bit reluctant to go back to Toronto because this was such a special time for him. And that was the last time I saw him. And then when I heard the news, I just couldn't believe it.
I'll try to keep up with the chat as well. They're asking some questions, so I'll toss a couple here for you. Yes. First of all, I'd like to say hi to Nick S. Thank you for coming. Yeah, he mentioned that too. Nick mentioned broke the ending, broke the heart too. Yeah. And then Barbara wants to know if you're in contact with any of your co-stars from your other series. I know you're still in touch with Vicky. Yeah.
Love her.
I was I was telling how, because I talked to Victoria a lot on Twitter too, and I got to know her, and I got to know TJ, because we had a lot of fun because she did a movie called Death Valley. It was one of the very first movies I reviewed, and in it, Vicky, she got killed, and I'm like, no, there's no way in hell that would ever happen, because and I'm like, what? There's something wrong here, and Katrina Law was in it too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
fun watching Katrina rise. Oh my gosh, it's been crazy. And then I quit Twitter. Then when I picked up Instagram during that time frame, her and TJ got divorced, and she had fell in love with Trace Adkins. I'm
Yeah.
just like, man, the time is just like went flying by. I had no idea, but I
Yeah.
know you're still in touch with her.
Yes, yeah, I love her. I've seen her a couple times when I mean I haven't been to LA in ages, but I saw her. We have such a great time together. TJ was great too. TJ actually directed I think a couple of episodes of Flash Gordon. That's the last time I saw him. And I think they're still great friends. I think it was a really amicable situation, and they're both amazing people. Vicky's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. She is so smart and witty, and yeah, her humor reflects that. And yeah, she's madly in love now. Yeah, I keep saying I'm coming to Nashville. I'm coming.
No, I got the same impression. I got the exact same impression with you. I thought they ended on friendly terms, and they're still, they're still very supportive of each other, and they're still friends. And I think I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, who
Eric
else?
Johnson and I are still good friends, like from Flash Gordon. So Eric and I are good friends still.
Okay.
Haven't seen him. I mean, because of COVID, right? Haven't seen him in a couple of years. We haven't been to Toronto, but he's amazing. Another hilarious person, like another one of the funniest people I know. And again, from Flash Gordon, you wouldn't really know it. But he's very, very funny because he plays a lot of, like me, sinister roles. Like if you've seen The Nick or Shades of Grey, we both have this face. And I think this energy, like we're able to channel these, like, I'm going to say like bitchy, powerful, whatever people. But in the end, my core is laughter and joking around. I just love, love, love humor. Comedy's my favorite, and Eric too. So it's funny, how what you get known for is really not really who you are deep down inside.
No, yeah, because every all the 4 series I watched you on, and a couple of according to the Dresden Files too, you've always played a serious, dramatic role.
Yeah.
I love to see what you can do in front with a comedy. I mean, I just really would like to see that, because it was charming when you said that you love comedy and you like to laugh.
Yeah.
But you played a great. I mean, there was a little bit of humor in Adventures Inc. There was a lot of witty repartee, so to speak.
Yeah, and even with Lexa, like every character, and even with Balin on Flash Gordon too, I made sure, because written on paper, these ladies had zero sense of humor. Do you know what I mean? Like written on paper as is, they weren't funny people, and so I really just tried to give them a little bit of like a little bit of something, so that they're not just like super. Even like Balin was super robotic, kind of by nature, right, by her alien nature. But I wanted to make sure that there was a little bit of humor in whatever way that made sense to the character, because that's super important to me. And I think it's fun to watch. It gives the character layers, and it's more entertaining than just straight up bitch,
Mutant X. I mean, you came in after Lauren Lee Smith left, but yeah, you were like, you were full on, like, definitely claws out the first couple episodes while everybody was getting used to you. But you could definitely see Alexa had there's a lot of humor there too.
Yeah. The fan claws were out for me too. Oh man, when I came on,
Really?
It was the time when Safe Searching was when I had my message board, and people were not happy. Obviously, they lost a beloved character, and they were like, "Who is this nasty girl coming on the show?" And they didn't like Lexa because wasn't that likable. But so I got a lot of nasty fan mail. But I was just in the back of my head, I was like, "Just you wait, you'll fall in love with her. Just wait."
I was so excited when I read that. Yeah, I was pumped because I knew you were coming over from Adventures Inc. And they said, and you would come over from the show. I was really I was maybe you can answer this, but what I mean, why didn't they recast? Did they ever talk about that? Was that ever a consideration? I know that seems really, I know it seems weird, but it does happen in Hollywood.
Why did they recast or why didn't
You know,
they?
why didn't they recast Jesse's role? You know, have bring in another person, maybe his brother or something like that.
I don't think that that's the reason why the show didn't go. I think I'm not sure of the reasons, but I don't think that that was the reason why the show didn't go. I think it was other reasons beyond my knowledge as an actor, but I don't think that that was the main reason. Oh, you guys want to see my little kitten? You just hi, he's purring.
Oh,
He just
hi, Ray.
hi,
Wow.
hi.
Well,
Say
he's got
hi.
really big. He's really big.
He's about 8-9 weeks old now. Oh my
Yeah.
god! And he's gonna. I don't want him to step on my laptop because he might shut us
Yeah,
down. No, you stay.
cats do love you know, when you do more and more of this, or when you start doing more and more self tapes, Rain will be there as your assistant. Guaranteed.
Did you just wake up? Anyway, sorry for the distraction.
Let me no, thank you guys. I'm gonna try to get some questions for sure. In a couple minutes here for sure. Just so keep on tossing them out there. Yeah, okay. Because that's what I thought. I was under the impression that they shut down the series because of his passing, and I thought that was I thought that was actually very honorable. You know, and I actually thought it was a little bit refreshing. You know, in a sense that a lot of times, you know, most TV shows when they do lose a lead character, you know, they give it a little bit of time, then they'll bring on another actor, which I think is tremendously hard. I mean, that is a difficult time. I mean, it's one thing coming in under someone who's left because they chose to leave, and you know, and you just come in and slide in and come in as a new fresh character. But to come in under those circumstances, that's
Yeah.
So then you land on Mutant X, and I love the show. Mutant X is like one of my very favorite shows of all time.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that show. I watched it every single week, and picked up I thought the third season was actually the strongest season by far.
Yeah, I liked it too, I have to say.
Yeah, because Gabriel Ashlock, he played. I think his name was oh gosh,
Sounds familiar.
yeah, he played the main villain in season 3. What was really funny about that was I was actually watching, I think, One Life to Live, and you know, I was, you know, because
Jesse. You mean you played Jesse?
let me see if I can find him.
Not Forbes.
No. He played the villain. He was on like for 5. He was on for 5 episodes.
Oh,
I think he played Gideon Ashlock. That's what he played.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure someone's going to be here helping me out here.
Yeah, my memory is terrible.
And I saw him on a soap opera, and he became a big star on a soap opera.
Well, good.
I was like,
Forbes went on to a soap as well after Mutant X.
Yeah, and you guys all have done very, very well. I mean, after the show, you know, now I know Mutant X ended because I think it was a Atlantic Alliance. They ran out of money.
Yeah, I think it was a financial thing. I think. Yeah.
Because they were also producing The Lost World at the same time. And, I remember because I was explaining before you got here about the time when you were on. Syndication was just massively successful.
Yeah.
Everybody's pumping out great shows, far better than the one you see on the network TV. The syndication, for some reason, just absolutely ruled. There were so many great shows there.
When we were shooting Mutant, or no, we were shooting Adventure Inc. We were shooting right beside right beside Relic Hunter. Do you guys remember Relic Hunter with
Tia Carrere? Yeah, I love that show too. Or you guys, you guys should have crossed over.
Well, there was a crossover. So Christian Anholt, who played the lead guy, I don't know forget the character. Help me out, peeps. Anyways, he did a couple guest spots on Adventure Inc. when we were in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played a brother, a priest or something.
That is the one series that is hard to find. I mean, it's hard to find, and you know, because it got released, but now people, it's, so sought after. If you go try to find a seasoned copy of it,
Yeah.
it's so expensive. It's just,
Adventure Inc. is hard to find.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, hard to find for like a good price. You can find it for collector prices,
Mhm.
but hard finding it for finding it just like it's not on, like I got Mutant X. I was really surprised. I got this maybe about 3 or 4 years ago over at Walmart of all places.
Oh.
And I was shocked because I was like, I didn't think I would ever see that. And so of course I just grabbed that right away. I mean, it was the last one there, and I was so overjoyed. And
Oh wow, lucky
I was
you.
like, yeah, I was like, wow, because I never go there. I never go there. I never
Yeah.
go to Walmart. And so I was just there that one time, and it was just like, it was the last one. They had 2 rows,
Oh my
and
God.
they could probably hold like maybe like 12 to 15 each row. So when I grabbed it, the first thing I thought was I got it, and the second thing I got was people remember, people know this show, and
Yeah.
so that's why they brought it back out. So I was really happy about that. But let's go back to real quick to let's go talk about Youngblades real quick, because I am gonna go back to your origins, because I want to know about that. But
Yeah.
what was it like working with Youngblades? Because
Mm.
I want to know what it was like sharing scenes with Michael Ironside.
It was fun. Like it's funny because before I got Young Blades, I remember 2 months before I even auditioned for it, I remember going, sometimes I just get these like little moods and I'm like, I think I'm gonna take up fencing. I want to learn how to fence. Right. I think it was cool. Of course I wouldn't think I'm going to take up sword fighting because we're in, we're not in the whatever 1500s or whatever. So I said, I want to take up fencing. And then this audition popped up. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy weird. So put myself on tape. I remember I went to a costume store in Toronto and I found like kind of like a white ruffly blouse with like a vest, and I put my hair back, no makeup, and auditioned for it. Obviously got a call back in a screen test down in LA and got it. And I was so happy because again, like people, I think it was that, yeah, that was after Mutant X and after Adventuring. People kind of knew me as this thing, but anyone who kind of knows like the real me, I'm not really like a girly girl. I'm a little bit of a tomboy. It just brought out all these aspects of my real personality that I wanted to show. And it was quite a quirky, funny show as well, right? So I got to play a little humor with that as well. And it was just such a great show. I loved it. I loved the not having to worry about being, let me say, like pretty, right? It was so freeing to be a guy. I had, these bushy eyebrows, a little soul patch, and I got to sword fight. I got to ride horses, and I got to be with my guys. I always had a lot of guy friends, and I feel really comfortable with, one of the guys. And that was my life for 6 months. And I was so happy. I was so happy. And it was beautiful Vancouver. And I just loved it. And Michael and I didn't have too many scenes. And if we did, it was like as a group. But I think Michael, to be honest, was a little bit perplexed by me. He didn't know what to do with me because I was a girl, but I looked like a guy. And I think he didn't know how to treat me because I think he was like when other girls would come on set and their little corsets, the boobs, and everyone kind of knew how to be with those girls, right? Like, oh, are you okay? Would you like a tea? And then with me, because I really kind of brought out my boyish side, I got treated as one of the guys, but I wasn't. So it was just, I loved it. I thought it was such a hoot to see how people reacted to me. I loved it.
Now that must have been really hard costuming wise, because you're definitely very curvy. And so it's like, I'm thinking to myself, that's going to be rather hard to do, because how are you going to breathe? You can get away with, and on the face too. It's like, I don't care what you put on her. She's still a beautiful girl, and you know it. Maybe because you know who you were, it was sort of hard to suspend belief, because
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah, you kind of had to. I mean, obviously, I looked like a pretty boy. You know what I mean? Obviously, I wasn't like a full manly man, but that was the charm of the show, I think, because it wasn't a super serious show. It was a little bit funny. It passed,
Yeah, I just think wondering how, because you got to work with Ironside, and he's definitely like top 10 actor. I mean,
Yeah.
anything you see him in, you're gonna watch. And
Yeah.
most of the people here in our room here in our chat, they're huge Ironside fans too, because we're all horror fans. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Emmy saying you're too good of an actress. Let's see. Yeah, let's
Which
see.
existing movie do you wish you played in? Emmy asked. Hmm. Well, like I said, I really want to do a really good comedy movie. Like, and I have done comedy in my career. It's just not the stuff that's out there as much or that has been such a hit. But I would take a comedy series, even a sitcom, a comedy any day. Yeah, that's definitely on my list. I just love acting, period. Right. So I really enjoy all kinds of acting, even like just any type of character, I can enjoy it just as much. Like I can really appreciate it because I'm doing what I love. But comedy is definitely something that I want to do more of. I want to be known more of, in, and that's on my wish list for sure.
What was the biggest shock to you coming back? I mean, when you left, and even though it wasn't that long, 4 years. 4 years doesn't seem all that much long, but it's
Yeah.
a lifetime in acting world. What was it like to come back? Because so many things had changed.
Well, social media was a big one. I came back and social media didn't exist really before I left, right? As an actor, when you're being considered for a part, they evaluate something called your TVQ. So basically
You
your worth as an actor, what you'll bring to the table, how many fans you have, blah, 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 right? Whereas when I came back, I started to go, oh my God, it's about followers. It's about your Instagram and your Facebook and your Twitter feed and all that work that we never really had to put in. We just kind of, we got our auditions, we did our auditions, we booked the job, we did the job. We did some PR and press and stuff. But now there was all this work that we have to do to kind of gain our TVQ. And then you can either lose a job based on lack of followers, which I know that I did at one point. I know that I came really close to getting a show called Shadowhunters. And that didn't work out. And I remember there was a little bit of like, well, where's she been for these years? We kind of want someone who's got a little bit more like relevant stuff. And I think that's what's happening now too. I realize, oh my God, I'm also in my mid 40s. Like, times have changed too. Women, in your 20s, it's very easy to work, let's say. There's a lot of roles, right? And there's a lot of demand for young women. And that's another thing too. When I came back, I was like, do I really want to come back? Because, now I'm 45 now, right? What's that world like? I think things are changing.
You don't look 45 at all. You look happy.
I tried. Just did yoga this morning. But yeah, I think that, but for me, it's okay. I want to see more women my age on screen. And if it means that, people might say, oh, Karen's, aged or whatever. Well, yeah, I'm 45. I'm not 25 anymore. And that's okay to me. I'm not going to be so like offended by that. I think that we need to start seeing women that are aging and beautiful and older. And that's it. And that's kind of the mission that I want to be on right now.
Yeah, you know what though? I will say this. I do think that the ageism that Hollywood used to have in an iron grip, I do believe that has been loosened because I do, you do see a lot more, older ladies in critical roles and leading series. A friend of mine named Monique, she decided to let her hair go gray. She decided, she was a redhead. And so she said, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. And she did. And all this thing, she's massive. She's very popular. She's very much in demand. She just did herself, I've been watching another actress, director, and actually another Canadian. And she was really trying to decide whether she should go gray or not. And she was having a really hard time with it. I mean, she was just like, it was sad. It was sort of scary because she was like, it was so unsure, like, like I want to be myself, but I'm so used to being this other person, and if I show my gray, will that cost me roles? Will that cost me my career? And she was just twisted. And then finally, she just bravely said, "Okay, I'm just doing it." So now she shows her regular gray hair. And the thing is, though, she's drop dead beautiful regardless. In fact, she looks better with her gray than she does when she didn't.
Wow. Well, that's good to hear. I agree with you. I think times are changing and I'm happy about that because when you look on TV shows or movies, you see a lot of men there's a lot of men on camera, and men of different shapes, sizes, ages. You know, it's a whole canvas of different types of men, but there's rarely a big variety in the types of women that you see. Always kind of beautiful, and, you know, which is fine. Like, it's great, but I think we need more variety. There's more women out there that need to be represented, right? Even people of color, et cetera, right?
I agree. I mean, in that case, I think that streaming, you know, one of the questions I ask a lot is like, you know, what do you think of streaming? I mean, is streaming good or bad for someone, an actor? What do you feel? Do you feel streaming is going to help you or hinder you?
Yeah, well, I'm a big streaming fan. Like, I mean, I really only stream like Netflix, but I mean, I'm all for it. And, you know, really what actors want, we just want to work. We just want to work. We want to act. And I think that if it's, you know, through a different medium or whatever, we don't really care. We just want to do our job. We also want to pay our bills. We want to just live our passions. So my God, I don't think that there's any actor out there who's like, well, I prefer doing movies. I don't want to stream. You know, we're like, well, what job? I'm available. I'll take it. You know, we don't really care.
I mean, I just think that there's more opportunities now because there's so much. I mean, right now, there's never been more content out there than right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I mean, you know, I actually, I don't know why I did this because it was absolutely insane doing so, but I was at my library. I was waiting for the bookstore to open up, and I haven't read one in years. I cannot remember the last time I actually read one, but I grabbed the TV guide, you know, because it has it there. You know, you can rent it and look at it. And
yeah, I remember those.
And I opened it up, and it was like a Grail. It was like Braille. I had no idea what I was looking at.
Yeah.
There was so many channels and shows and I don't know anything. I don't know hardly anything. You know, some of these channels and the only thing I thought was there's a lot more work out there, though. I mean, there's got to be a ton of more work, ton of more roles. What about the auditioning process? I mean, how do you like doing? Do you like doing self-tapes versus live?
Well, it's funny because I kind of liked auditions actually when I was in Toronto. That's where I was based most of my career. I started my career in Montreal, but when I ended up working mostly in Toronto and living for years in Toronto. I liked auditioning actually because I had a really good relationship with the casting directors. So they really supported me and loved me. So I always felt like it was a really safe place and a really welcoming place to go. And I think when you're an actor, there's always nerves. Like sometimes you'd be just sweating bullets, right? And I always say, like, I teach some acting now here at an acting school in Ottawa. And I say to the people, I said, a lot of them are beginner actors. I said, the one thing, I said, you can learn all the techniques, you can be the greatest actor ever, but one thing you have to master as an actor is acting like you're not nervous when you're dying inside. Like that is the key, because that's what's going to get you to not bomb your auditions, not forget your lines on set, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the number one thing. So when I was able to master that most of the time, there are sometimes we all had our bombs, our bad days, but I liked the performing. I liked performing in front of people, you know, so it was still really fun. But now during COVID, because since now I've come back, and I came back during COVID, and I live in Ottawa, there's not much happening here. So I send in all of my tapes to Montreal and Toronto and Vancouver. And self-taping, I really love as well. I do them with my husband in my basement. And I love it because you can mess up a million times and no one knows. I love that. You can edit it and light it the way you want. So I'm a huge fan of self-tapes. But it's very busy. Like there are some days where I do 4 or 5 in a day, and it's a full-time unpaid job. Like it's crazy, but it's I like them both. Like, yeah, that's crazy. And they're lead roles, right? So they're not just like 1-pagers. They're like 10 pages, this and that. So it's a lot of brain work and time, but when you love it, you love it. It's still acting and performing, right? So,
see if they may drop the question here. Thank you for being honest with the subject. Yeah, I agree. And I think someone mentioned too about about the badass women are the best ones. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I want to see you in a comedy, but I also like to see you because to me it's like it would have been nice to see you, hopefully sometime in the future. I'd like to see, if you got a chance to do something in MCU, would you do it?
I would, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do, don't get me wrong. Like I love I was talking a lot about comedies, but I really do love strong female characters. I always have. It's such a big part of who I am. My dad was a sergeant. I think that's why, you know, my sister and I are, I don't want to be cliche and say we're like tough girl or whatever, but my mom is also a very strong woman. I think that I like being part of a representation of women in that light, you know. And I remember when on Safe Searching, I would get a lot of girls emailing me saying, you know, you're a role model and your character is really inspiring me to be strong. And that alone was worth it. Like that to me, hearing those words, that I'm like, wow, like this character is inspiring young girls to stand up for themselves. I'm not saying go beat everybody up, but sometimes it would be nice. But just in the attitude and how you carry yourself, because I remember even like I have played these roles, right? But I remember going to see Wonder Woman with my sister, and we're in the theater, and I walked out, and I used to watch Wonder Woman as a kid, right? But I'm talking about the movie here with Gal. And I walked out of that theater and I was just like, oh, I felt so powerful. And I could tell all the other women in the theater walked out that way. And I said to my sister, wow, this is how men and boys feel every day. This is how they feel every day, being in a world that treats them like superheroes, really, like, or they have so many examples that they watch of strong men who change the world, men who are physically and mentally strong and all this. I'm like, that has to change. Women need to start feeling this feeling because it's going to translate in their real life as well. And I'm seeing that now. And people have told me that it has changed the way that they comport themselves in life. And I find that so cool. So yeah, badass characters, hands down. 100%, yes.
Our friend John, let's see. Oh, now that questions are flying in. Okay. It says Hobbs wants to know any favorite horror films. What you got? Any favorite horror? It's October. He loves October.
I did do a Saw movie. Have you guys seen the Saw movie? I was in Saw 6. If you want to check.
Saw 6, yeah. I know Hobbs is a big Saw man. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see Saw 6. I quit after Saw 3 because they killed Dina Meyer.
Well, you gotta watch Saw 6.
That's what I thought. I'm
not telling you.
Hold on. Before I do that, like, okay, let me ask you a question. What's it like dying on screen? I mean, do you like characters have you played characters that die on screen, and how hard is it? How hard is it to play a death scene?
Well, I think the first time I died was in a movie called Steel. Originally, it was called Riders with Stephen Dorff and Natasha Henstridge. Now it's called Steel, but I did die in that one. Oh, I died in a movie called Jekyll and Hyde with Adam Baldwin. I died there. I got blown up. I was attached to a buoy and got blown up. So that was fun. Oh, yeah, I've died a few times, actually. And then, well, I'm not going to say if I died or not in Saw. You have to watch. I think it's fun. I think, I like anything that's a challenge. I've had such a great career in that sense that I've been able to do all kinds of things, like not only physically or whatever, but even like dying in different ways. Like Steel, I got shot. Oh yeah, like I like a good death scene because you want to make it not dramatic and cheesy, like right? Like you have to make it realistic, and it's not something that you can draw on because you've never died. So you have to just make it your own.
Because I was thinking, because those have got to be some of the hardest scenes to do. Okay, we got some other questions. Let's see. Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, so people, Emmy's mentioning about that. As far as watching people you die. I mean, they're sitting there watching you do that. That's got to be a lot of pressure, and especially when you're sitting there and you got to absolutely be perfectly still. Because we're setting up the shot, we're doing the shot. Can you hold it right there? And it's just like, I mean, you can't move at all. It's just like, oh, that's
you're right. I just did a Lifetime movie called Galentine's Day Nightmare, and I get stabbed in that one, and that was fun because I love anything that's like has a bit of stunts in it too. So I got to really milk the getting stabbed and dying. That was fun.
Oh man! Okay. Yeah. So Galentine, that was the Lifetime movie, right?
Yeah. It's just a small part. It's not a big.
I love Lifetime movies. They're so much fun.
Hobbs was asking if I get nervous before roles. Yeah, sometimes, especially if I haven't been on set in a while and you're a little rusty. You're more nervous about remembering your lines. I don't get nervous like in front of a camera or the acting part of it. I would maybe get nervous about like, oh, am I gonna remember my lines? My brain sharp today? Or if you have like a big script, I'm doing just a little kind of indie thing on the weekend, shooting this weekend, and I have like a full 1-pager. I have it right here. I'm like, oh, so that I'm a little nervous about just remembering your lines when you've been kind of out for a little bit. But that's the only really time I get nervous. I don't get nervous even public speaking that much or on stage or whatever. It's mostly about the lines because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want to do a really good job. So,
yeah, I was going to ask you about that too. I mean, what is your process? I mean, for when you wake up in the day, you're working on a show. So what's your process when you wake up, or better yet, I guess when you first get the script? So they give you a script. Here it is, Karen. It's for let's say it's for a romantic comedy. Okay,
yeah.
So what's your process now? What do you do to prepare for a role?
Well, it's funny because again, like with teaching acting now, that's actually a big reason why I got back into it's a big reason why I decided to get back in acting now is because through teaching, I was teaching and like helping these actors find themselves as actors and give them tips. And the response was really good. And we were really vibing. And I just felt like, wow, I still love this. I still love the process. I still love acting. So when I'm teaching this, and then, it kind of made me realize what kind of an actor I am. I'm not like a huge classically trained actor at all. I did drama in high school. I was top of my class all through high school. We did plays, we did improv every single day in homeroom. So I don't have a lot of like, say, training, but my process, I would say, is because I love human behavior. I studied psychology. I did a year at Concordia University in psychology when I thought I was going to, change the world and be a psychologist or whatever. I love human behavior. So I approach it in like when I'm reading a script, I don't go, so backstory connects to blah, blah, blah. I really go, what would a person do in this situation? What's a real reaction? I really draw from making it as realistic as possible and also finding 5 different things that I can do, keep them in my back pocket, go on set, do it. And then if the director goes, hey, Karen, could you do it a little bit more mysterious this time? I'm like, yep, got it. I have an idea right in my back pocket. So I suggest to people always like read the script and have a few versions in the back of your head, present them all, and then they can choose which one they like. So come prepared that way. But I always come from a place of like not overacting. I try to keep it really natural and just know your face. You got to know your face as an actor. You got to know, I know that if I'm, like this, I can look really bitchy. So I know how to move my body and move my face to help bring out the character. So I focus more on being natural and analyzing human behavior than I do like technique and stuff.
We got some more questions coming in here. Let's see. I want to get to John. Jonathan came in. I want to see what he said. Okay. Have you seen the film industry in Canada move away from the Maritimes? I don't know if that's what he wants to say. In the last 10 years. Yeah. Where's the hub for Canada? Where do they make movies at? Is it still the West Coast like Vancouver, or has the movie making come out to the East?
It's Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal.
Okay.
For sure. I think I like in Newfoundland, I did years ago, actually one of my first jobs back after having my daughter was on Republic of Doyle. So that was in Newfoundland. I know that they're doing a few things out there right now. Actually, there was like a little bit of a boom this summer in Newfoundland. So I think things are starting there. But it's always Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal too. But yeah, those are always going to be the main hubs, I think.
I don't have a map in front of me, and I'm going to sound really ignorant in saying this, but how far away are you, in Ottawa from Vancouver?
Oh, so where are you, Patrick?
I am about 30 miles south of Detroit. It's in southeastern Michigan.
So you're near Toronto, so you can know. So Ottawa is basically just 2 hours west of Montreal. So if you know where that is, so it's very far from Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 5-hour plane ride from Vancouver. It's basically across the country. I love Vancouver.
I've actually been to Toronto. It's a very nice place, and I can see why people film up there. It has every type of location that you could want.
Yeah, I
Um,
miss it.
is there a good film community in Ottawa, like independent film community? I mean, you just mentioned you're working on an indie film.
Mhm.
Is there a community there in Ottawa that's thriving?
It's very small. It's very small. This is more like a corporate indie type thing. It's no, I wouldn't. I would say, listen, it's changed a lot in the last 5 years, definitely. Whereas maybe like when the Lifetime Films started, 15 years ago here in Ottawa, there was one producer, it was one production company. Now there's maybe three or four. So it's growing here, definitely growing here. It's a little bit lower budget stuff that's done here in Ottawa. There's some tax breaks and everything. So you're not getting any big movies, but they are building a big studio here in Ottawa, which I'm very curious to see how that's going to turn things around. Should be done in
Yeah,
about a year, I think. Yeah.
that would be very exciting. I mean, more opportunity closer to home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
But I'm
so
ready. But I'm ready to fly away from the nest, Patrick. Get me out of this house.
oh my gosh, yes, yeah.
I like I've listen, my daughter's almost 12. I'm like, listen, I did the mommy housewife thing for a long time. I am ready. I am ready, universe, to like flee the nest. Get me out of my house coat.
See, I'm just sitting here going like, I'm just, it just kills me. I'm here talking to you, and it kills me because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you ever felt like you're just born out of time, or you're just like a step behind? Because to me, it's like you're the prototypical MCU. I also look at you and I'm thinking, especially when I saw you in Avengers Inc. And tell me, and the chat can tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think they're gonna say I'm right. But someone like a Laura Croft Tomb Raider. I mean, those
Mm.
type of roles. See, I have never seen you do comedy, so I need to see that. But I just seen, I do. I need to see. I mean, I've seen you do some comedy elements, but I want to. I've always known you as you're just a kick ass. You're just kick ass. You're a superhero, a mutant.
Alien, Alien. Don't forget
your
Alien.
your your character was actually based on a Marvel character named Dazzler.
Oh, even I don't know that.
Yeah, Your Lexa was based on a character named Dazzler, had the same power set, same skill set, and it
Ooh.
was like, yeah, I'm sitting there going like, wow, all right, it's like, you know, someone needs to come back there and grab you and put you in an MCU movie.
Okay, I agree.
Then you can do some comedy.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Okay, I'm all for it.
let's see. Also a fan of Nick saying. Also, if let me ask you a question. Jamie asked you a question. Which director would you like to work with? Nick, give me three.
Oh my God, I'm so bad with this. Is where I'm like not like I'm going to disappoint everybody. I'm not like a.
If you could just mention the movie that they directed, I'll tell you who they are.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know. Okay. 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 Oh my God. Okay. I'm gonna probably have to think about this a little while longer. Okay. What are my favorite movies? Well, again, my favorite movies are like I love When Harry Met Sally. That's like my
Okay,
favorite.
it's Rob Reiner.
Okay, that's Rob Reiner. Honestly, I loved Salt. I loved that movie. That's the one role I would have loved to have with Angelina Jolie. Have you seen Salt?
Oh yes. Oh yes. See what I was saying? That's yeah. You and
Yeah.
Angelina very much have that same persona, like wanted.
Yeah, she's great. I love her as an actress. She's really good.
But see, I can't see Angelina Jolie. I mean, this is narrow-minded or whatnot, but I don't ever see Angelina Jolie ever doing comedy.
No, I don't think she's.
Nobody ever sees her. I mean, you think of you don't even think about it. You just think about, which role is she going to do next, which dramatic role she's going to do next.
Yeah.
Now, I don't, and because no one's ever seen her do a comedy. I think that's part of it. I think that's a part of it. So I have a hard time seeing it.
Well, I don't think most people can do everything. I think, you know what I mean? I think that I know that there are some roles that I'm just, that I would definitely have someone else do instead of me, like the really like dramatic, like crying roles, like Jessica Chastain type act, you know what I mean? Like oh my God, like they're amazing. I don't think that that'd be my, the type of role that I would just like kill. Maybe I could now, but definitely my younger self. I think I had too much of a bit of a wall up that I wouldn't have been able to access those like crazy deep emotions. But it's definitely something that, you know, like I say, as being older and having been a mom and having lived through a lot more, I'd want to explore a little bit more of those like dramatic roles. But definitely comedy or another badass movie first.
Um, let's see. Nick mentions also a fan of Wyona Earp, which was filmed in Calgary. Canada is so beautiful. Yep. I see. Let's see. Jamie says she would like to work with David Lynch. How about David Lynch? Would like to do something like that? I mean, how daring are you? Is there a role that you would hesitate to do? Like he directed Holly Hunter in this movie called Crash.
Mm,
Have you ever seen Crash?
I think so. Yes, yes, a
Holly
while
Hunter and
ago, right? That's an
James,
older.
yeah, James Spader and Holly Hunter.
Yeah.
Would you do?
I would love to do one of those types of movies for sure. Again, my younger self would have said, no, 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 no. But I want to do it all. Like, I know it sounds weird now, but I really feel like I have the capabilities now and the passion for it to want to explore all those roles, even if they're like, you know, weird. Like I just saw Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker. I finally saw that movie a month or two ago. And just watching his performance, just like, holy crap. Like, you know, if there was an equivalent of a female role like that, I would love to attempt as well. So I really am in a mode of wanting to just do it all, really just see where I can go, like what my limits are, you know?
Yeah, I could see that.
Mhm.
When did you decide that you wanted to get into the game? I mean, what led you down the road to become an actress? Were your mom and dad creatives? Were you
No,
grew up around
no.
creative?
No,
Yeah.
I don't come from
No.
any, I've come from a French Canadian family, small town. I am the only performer in the family. Like they're, you know, blue collar family, people very like low key. So I just always, and I wasn't like, you know, like sometimes we think that actors are all like, look at me, like showboat kids, but I wasn't like that at all.
Mhm.
But I loved like being in my room and I would just imagine and I would play Barbies for hours, but not Barbies in the like, Ken, let's go to the store. It was very dramatic stuff. It was like I would cry with my Barbies and they'd be really, really crazy, a little bit dysfunctional stories. But that's where I kind of started honing my skills as an actor, really as a kid, like just acting through my dolls and stuff and you know in the mirror and I just kind of always knew. I remember I would autograph like vandalize, but I would autograph like electrical boxes like behind stores and stuff, or like on the sidewalk I would autograph my name because I was like, you know, one day maybe I think I'm going to be known a little bit, like just had this feeling. And then all through high school, like I said, I just acted all through high school. It was just who I was. I was known as, you know, the actor in school and the funny one, the crazy one. And it was just always kind of part of me. It definitely was not a family trait at all.
I can see people now are hearing this. They're going to start looking for all your outlets where you signed your name on. Let's go.
They've been painted over. This was in the 80s.
Let's go treasure hunting. I can see that happening. So how old were you when you first started auditioning? Because you were young. How young were you when you landed your first role?
Well, my journey as like a, you know, professional actor was, like I said, I was going into psychology because I wanted to have a nice, like serious career where I could help people. And at the time I started modeling, I was always very resistant to modeling, especially in high school. I would always say no. I was working at McDonald's for 6 years. That was my teenage job. And I would get approached and I would just say no. I was a big feminist. I was like, no way, get lost. I'm not depending on my looks. You know, I just was really against it. And then finally someone approached me, and it was a girl who was basically my age, who is still my agent in Montreal, actually, to this day, acting agent, because she started her acting agency. But long story short, I started modeling first because I was like, you know what, this is an opportunity. I can go travel the world. Great. You know, and it was a wonderful experience. I think I was really, really respected in the industry. Nothing bad ever happened to me. I was old enough and strong enough to hold my own. And so it was a wonderful experience. And then when I got back to Montreal after my little 2 years kind of away, my modeling agency opened up a acting division. So they asked all of us models, would you audition for stuff? Do you know how to act? And I was like, oh yeah, I was a okay actress, like from what I know, and let me just try auditioning. And then I started booking right away. I booked my first 2 jobs that I auditioned for. So it just kind of took off from there. I was really lucky, actually. I didn't have the big struggle start.
Did you think it was going to be always that easy when you first started out?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was hard to take. Like when I remember like in my late 20s, I had 1 year where I did not work at all. And I was like, what is this? You know, it sounds so spoiled to say, but I was really kind of, I was like, oh my God, like I'd been so lucky. I had done, I'm just going to go plug in my computer. I had done about 7 leads in TV series at this point. So I was a little bit spoiled, I have to say. So I kind of didn't know the struggle until I had to be faced with it and realize, oh, this is the sucky part of the industry, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're back.
Yeah, that's something that you and I talked about. Well, let me ask you this question. John from Doomsday's Crip asked a question. He wants to know if you had one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be? What would you give yourself one piece of advice?
It's funny because I'm on a website right now called Skills Hub, run by Jennifer Hale, who's a big voice actress in video games and Disney voices. And we do like little coaching sessions there. So if anybody even wants like to book like 10 minutes, if you want to know about the industry or whatever, look us up there. Bunch of great coaches and casting directors, etc. But that was a question that she had posted and I had answered it actually on Instagram. One of my I don't like to say regrets, but one of the things is like I mentioned earlier, I wish I would have had maybe more of a plan, like a game plan. I was really lucky. Everything kind of unfolded on its own, but I wish that I would have taken more control of my career and not just been like, this will last forever, whatever. I didn't have a game plan. I didn't really have a long-term game plan in terms of even like management and proper setting up my career, even down to saving money, you know, all these things that I wish I would have taken more seriously. You know, I was kind of a little bit immature about it. I was always very professional when I was working, but immature in the long-term plan because I kind of was like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm all ambitious, right? So it's like, who was I trying to impress? Like, who was I thinking it was my life, but I just felt like I didn't want to come across as like this ambitious, you know, actress who this is a career. It was just this weird mentality that I wish I could go back and just say, look, take it a little bit more seriously, build a strong game plan because this might not last forever. And especially as a woman, we have way more of an expiry date than men do. So start planning ahead and thinking, you know? So that's definitely what I would do. Like I remember, you know, I was just talking about this time at one point with a friend of mine. We were down in LA. I think I was with my sister and a friend, and we were eating at Spago, like Wolfgang Puck's restaurant. And I remember I had this like glamour party. Their pictures are on the internet. And if you find them, you'll see what I mean. So I had my PR agency, my PR agency had sent me to this like party, and they're like, I don't know if they'd even told me it was gonna be a red carpet, but regardless, I was at dinner with my friends. We're drinking champagne. Wolfgang comes to the table and gives us more bubbly, having a great time. And I said, okay, I gotta go to this party. And I show up and I'm in my like jean jacket with this gorgeous dress, but jean jacket, a little, you know, maybe I had too much to drink. And I was all of a sudden on a red carpet and there's like paparazzi. And I was like, what's happening? I'm like, oh no, I didn't know that this was an event that I had to show up to and be professional. So I'm just kind of walking on the red carpet like, hey, and I'm like, oh my God, like those are the type of things, you know what I mean? Like I should have been more professional about it because not knowing that they're fine. The pictures are fine, but I'm kind of a deer in the headlights on the red carpet, just having a good old time.
That's what I have to definitely say one thing. You have such a unique look. I mean, I don't think anybody could ever look at you and not see panic in your face. I don't think you can show panic. You can show laughter, comedy. Well, definitely badassdom. But I don't think anybody could ever sit there and look at you and see panic. I mean, I think, you know, when I was looking for a picture for this interview, and I kept on going through all the pictures, and the only thing I just kept on thinking about was just you know, this is how strong you are. That's the one word I would use to describe you. Is you're just a you're impressively strong.
Well,
Uh,
thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't say I was panicked. I think I was just, in my own world and just like, woo, yeah. But yeah, I think I don't show my nervousness very easily, but I think that's just, having a sergeant dad who, raised us to be a little bit tough. So I think that I've mastered that. That's why I understood the characters, the badass characters that I played, because I didn't want to just have them be just badass. I knew that maybe they were vulnerable inside, deep down inside, like we all are, but we put up this wall, right? We pretend to be a little bit more strong than we are. So I really understood that character trait. That's why I think people resonated with it, because I was like, I get this. I get this type of person. That's me,
One thing I asked you when you and I first started talking was, I mean, did you ever? I mean, how do I put this? How hard was it for you to? Because you scored, though they're all cult favorites. That's the damnedest thing about it, if you think about it, Karen.
Mhm.
The four big shows that you remember for, as far as I know, of, they're all cult favorites. I mean, you talk to somebody about the show, they'll instantly remember it. you
Mhm.
know. But you had that really bad luck where you had with the four shows all one season.
I
Did
know.
you come out of that on the other side looking at, like, were you nervous going forward? Like, I want to do another series, but I'm a little nervous about it because I don't want to, like, what, do people attach me to that? Like, we have fun with an actor here, who always seems to land in these series, except for one where every time he comes in, it's the last show of the show. He just lands there and it kills the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. He's not a bad actor or anything else like that, but he just seems to have that persona where he comes on a show and it dies. As an actor and as a professional, does that ever happen? Like, or have you done a movie where it's just maybe the finances is falling apart or whatnot? Have you ever just thought about, wow, this seems to be happening a little bit too much to me? Do
Yes.
you feel like, yeah? Do you find yourself looking over your shoulder a little bit?
Well, it was definitely a theme with all the stuff I did, right? From my first series called Vampire High, that just went one season because that ran into financial problems. And then I think some like network issues. And then, Adventure Inc., Mutant X, Young Blades, Flash Gordon. I did a show called Galador when I did about 6 or 8 episodes of that series. And that was only 1 year. So yes, definitely at one point I was like, of course, as an actor, it's not you. It has nothing to do with you.
Right.
But, and people can say whatever. But honestly, because as actors, like I say, all we want to do is work, right? And because the times in between not working can be so long. And so you not only need it financially, right? You need a job financially. You need it for your self-esteem. Sometimes you need it for your purpose in life. And also, those lucky bums who've been on series, like a show that has gone 4 or 5 seasons. Like, I'm really good friends with Anna Silk, right? Lost Girl. We're really good friends. And I'm just like, wow, like once you land a show like that has gone 4 seasons, 5 seasons, you're kind of like, in terms of even like residuals, right? There's all these like repercussions of being on a series for a long time that lends to your financial security, your longevity as an actor, because the shows keep kind of going and playing around the world. So you're never really out of the loop. Whereas when you're in one-hit wonders, it's like, you're kind of gone and no one sees you for a long time. So there's a lot of perks, right, of being on a show that lasts a long time, because you're employed a lot longer, B, your relevance longer, and it just feels good to work, because being on set is the best thing. It's the best feeling. It feels like we're part of a circus. Like, we're all a bit freaks, we're all weirdos, and put us in the real world and we're like, I don't belong here, and then when we're on set, we're all just together and we can just be ourselves. It's so freeing, so freeing. I miss it.
You mentioned, part of the perks is the residuals
Mm.
and royalties. How do you feel as an actor, knowing that they could put Mutant X on a streaming service and the studio won't give you anything for it, any of your shows?
Yeah.
Do you think that, yeah, I mean, yeah, I paid attention to that. That was very, that was shocking. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
I just thought that, I thought as long as the, I thought as long as it got, as long as the show got on the air, that every time it aired, you got something out of it. And then I
No.
found out that, yeah, how do you feel as an actor who's worked on there?
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
terrible. It feels really crappy because you know that someone out there is making money off of it, right? And most of the time people aren't watching the shows for the producer. They're not watching the show. They're watching the shows
mhm,
for the writing, the acting, the director, whatever it is, right? And those people who are artists and not the money makers aren't seeing a dime,
uh,
and people are watching it because of you. So it's a very backward situation of, I think once again the actors get the short end of the stick on this end as well. So I know a lot of my stuff. I really barely see a residual, to be honest, on all the things that I've done.
yeah, I find that rather, I actually tell you the truth, and I'm sure everybody here in the chat will say that too. But I find that rather offensive.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to the artists that they worked, and that was part of the deal was, because who the hell knew was where streaming was? I
Yeah.
mean, syndication. Once that bubble popped and it went away, and God, it's sorely missed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once that went away, and well, and all the TV stations, basically just got bought up by the studio. So
Yeah.
now they're told there's no more independent TV stations, at least not here in the United States.
Yeah.
There's probably just a handful. So we'll never probably see that again like we did in the '90s and in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But who saw streaming coming? And it's just like, why the hell wouldn't you, as a studio? Why the hell wouldn't you just go ahead and you know what? I'm still using the program. I'm still making money off of it.
Mm.
So why the hell wouldn't I turn around and make sure that the artists that were in the movie or were in the series get their share?
Because people don't want to part with their money. And then it's also our union, actors have a union. It's up to our union to fight for us as well, right? To change those rules. So I think there's a lot of work to be done. And I think that they're starting to ask questions. Like our union is starting to ask us questions as actors about, streaming services and everything. So I hope that we all have our voices heard, because this is our living, right? It's how we live our lives, right? We need to be paid accordingly. So,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, uh, Go ahead and throw us a last round of questions out here for Karen, because I know that she's got to go pretty soon. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm keeping an eye on the clock for us. Uh,
That's okay. I'm enjoying it.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Jamie. I'll throw bones up there. Okay, so please, now you guys throw tons of questions up here. Now I'm gonna go back and start answering them, or sending them to Karen here. Yep. Let's see. Jamie mentions that she had a modeling career. It was short. She's only 5 foot tall. How tall are you, Karen?
I'm about 5'9".
Holy cow!
Yeah, so I am a little bit taller than the average.
Wow.
Yeah, so that helps. That helped, and I'm also physically a little bit. I'm like, I don't have a small frame, so it was very fun. I loved fighting with stunt guys and girls,
Hell yeah.
because I would just tell them, just you can punch me, like it's okay, like don't feel like you have to. And that's why the fights were so good. And I did a lot of my own stunts. Sometimes I'd see the stunt girl, my stunt double, and I'd be like, can I go in? I just want to go in. I just want to do it. So I did most of my fights that you see on screen, except for like I didn't want to do like the falling stuff. They couldn't, like, insurance wise, have me like fall and like really hurt myself. But I always did my own fights. I learned the choreography, and I loved taking a punch. I loved it. I loved giving a punch and taking a punch.
I know everybody wants to know this one, but can you tell us a funny story with Michael Biehn that no one's ever heard of before?
Oh my God, that Michael. He was funny, actually. I love Michael. I haven't seen him in years. The last time I saw him was when I was in LA, and he had just had a new baby with his wife, who was lovely, but they're not together anymore. I think it's been a while. Funny story with Michael. Oh, he was just so fun. Well, this is more a funny story about me. As actors, we we don't call in sick, right? We just do not. And I remember on Adventuring, I was quite sick. And I think I had like a bit of the flu, like a tummy flu. And we were about to I was literally behind like a wall. And Michael, I think, was supposed to come and run and meet me. And then we were both like, gonna go shoot at some bad guys. And I remember I had to like throw up. I was like, oh, and they were like rolling. And I was like, and I remember I threw up behind. And just at the moment, Michael comes around the corner. He's like, what the? He's like, oh my God, Rose, you're disgusting. Anyway, so we had a lot. So he bugged me about that the whole time. And I was like, well, show must go on. Yeah,
did he almost puke?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was really grossed out. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. But he was so fun. I loved him. I miss him.
And you stated that you stayed in touch with the folks from Mutant X. Have you done any conventions?
I haven't done any of the big ones. I've only done I remember there was a small one I did in Montreal. Gosh, and I think that's about it. Yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't big on the convention circuit. I don't really know why. I don't think that I had. I don't know. I think you have to be invited. But Elias Tufexis is one of my dear friends.
You love Elias.
Yeah.
Elias is tough. I want him on the show. You can help me get him on.
Oh,
here.
Yeah, I totally will. Yeah, we used to be pretty much neighbors in Toronto. They moved to my neighborhood because we were such good friends. They're like, okay, we're moving from Vancouver to Toronto. Where do you live? And I'm like, here, this is where you're going to live. And I used to see them every single day. I was like, all the time. Our kids were the same age. And so I would just be there. And I'm really good friends with his wife, Michelle, actually, now more than Elias. And yeah, they live in LA now though, but I keep trying to come and visit and yeah, I love them. But yeah, Elias does a lot of conventions.
Now you heard me earlier when I mentioned about working with Michael Ironside. I said the Church of Ironside, right?
Yeah.
Me and Elias, we came up with that.
Oh.
That was our thing. Yeah, that was our thing, Church of Ironside, because he would sit there. We talk about Mike Ironside because we just love him so much. And then he sits there. He goes, yeah, I got something to tell you. I says, what? I says, guess where I went this weekend? I said, where? Where'd you go? This was on Twitter while I was still on Twitter. I said, yeah. I went to a barbecue over at Michael Ironside's house.
Oh,
and I said, that's exactly what I said. I went, oh, and then I said, oh. Then I was like, oh, you lucky son of a bitch. Oh. What was it like? Oh, he was grilling up the food and talking. We're having a beer. He showed me his trophy room, his gaming room, and I was just like, oh man, I'm just so jealous.
Oh yeah.
So we had a lot of fun with that. But Elias is an amazing actor.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So
you should get him on.
I know. I want to. I'll
help you.
I'll say this in front of everybody. But as far as like we sometimes we'll talk about movies that make us cry.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One genre you never hear people sit there and say, I cried. And that's horror films, right? No one says that because they're all busy. Like, did you die in Saw 6? What was it like? How'd you die? It's not like, oh shit, that sucks. It's like, how'd you die? That's how it is with horror fans. Everybody's getting excited for Halloween Kills because they want to see how Michael Myers does everybody in. No one's gonna be going out the theater like, oh my god. But the first time I saw Elias, he did a movie called Decoys.
Mm.
Him and Scott and him and Corey Sevier. Oh my gosh, Karen, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is so freaking good, and this is amazing acting.
Yeah,
I mean, it was so moving. It was so moving. I was like, who is this guy? And it was Elias. And yeah,
great voice too.
Oh yeah, he does so many. He does practically just about every video game that comes out there. He's one of the voice actors.
Yeah,
just amazing.
Yeah. Someone asked. So Nick S asked if we did any pranks. Well, I was a big prankster, and so actually, Eric Johnson, who played Flash Gordon, was really funny on set too. And he used to try to crack me up on set because I played Balin, who was such a serious character, so I could not. I even the way I spoke had to be like, I couldn't go, so, I had to really like focus. And so he would always try to break my focus. But on Mutant X, I used to bring a fart machine on set. And so I used to have this little box, and in the middle of a scene or something, I just ruin takes by making fart noises. So you can see my maturity level is very, very low. But yeah, definitely fart machine. I was guilty of. And then once, you know, Forbes and everyone else got their hands on it, Victor, like they just went crazy. So
yeah, you know what? I could see that. I could see all you guys being prankster, including John Shea. I think John
yeah.
Shea would probably, the only person I probably couldn't see being the prankster was the guy who played Mason.
Tom,
Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't like, yeah, he was a lovely man. I loved him. He was a great guy. But yeah, I think more like serious, like theater. He was more professional than us.
But John Shea,
kids.
I can see John Shea, and I can see Victor, and I can see Forbes, and you, and definitely can see Victoria.
Oh yeah.
She seemed to always have that twinkle in her eye. You know, she
Yes.
really did. That's what really made her stand out. And then once you guys started acting together, then you could see the twinkle in your eye. You know, because you could tell you guys were having so much fun on Mutant X.
It's true.
Okay. Let's see.
My favorite food is pizza.
Huh?
Someone asked what my favorite food is. It's pizza.
Oh, pizza. Okay, yeah. Can't go. What is your diet like? How do you keep yourself fit? You know, on fighting condition.
Well, so I'm vegetarian now, right? I kind of always was mostly vegetarian, like maybe 80% was, but my daughter went vegetarian 2.5 years ago. At 9 years old, she decided she did not want to eat animals. She's very like wise in her thoughts. And we raised her to be very conscientious of the world. So she knows about, you know, everything that's going on in the world to a certain extent. So she made the decision on her own. And then a year later, I followed her because I love animals, and it just felt right to me. So I try to eat well, right? You know, because, you know, you're not 20 anymore. You can't just eat crap all day long. But I love red wine. I love having that. I love cooking, right? If you follow me on Instagram, I'm a little busier now, so I cook a little bit less. But I love cooking, you know, healthy food. But I'm not one of those, like, I hate healthy food that's just like salad and like a raw carrot. Like, I need flavor. I need spice. I need sauce. I love like good food that's tasty, and I'm kind of a picky eater too. So I really like to, that's why I like to cook. I like to make it the way I want to, and I like it to taste good. I don't understand people who just like eat to live instead of living to eat. I live to eat. Like, I'm already thinking, what am I making for dinner right now?
Yeah, your Instagram, which I'll put down in the description box. Your Instagram is amazing. How many times have I pinged you about, you know, sending you my? I think I probably sent you my address probably about at least 50 times.
And there's never any food left. Sorry, I can't send it.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm like, I'll send you the Cheetah for like a week's worth of your food.
That I would do. I love.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk. We'll make an arrangement.
Definitely. It says here that people have noticed that on your Instagram. It says you cook. You're cooking, Karen. You should help in a restaurant. It looks good. Your pics on Instagrams are so tempting. Yeah, you're amazing. Your food is amazing. I'm not really a foodie, you know. I'm not going to show you my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you know. But I like looking at it. I think it's really cool. And your dishes are so. I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, they're almost art. You know, you almost don't want to eat it.
Thanks. I mean, it's not something I don't take myself too seriously with it. It's just, you know, when you have a hobby, for me, Instagram, that's what I love about it. It's not just self-promotion. It's literally a place where people can show their hobbies, you know, and their pieces of their life, and cooking is part of my life. So I don't pretend to be a food photographer by any means, or a chef, but it's just I just like to show people who I am and, you know, what I love, and maybe some inspiration to eat some good food.
You know what? I'm getting a little nervous here because it's now been we've been talking for 1 hour and 40 minutes. So
yeah, I can talk a lot. Sorry.
Oh no! I'll keep you as long as you can stay. You just tap your head, just go like this, and I'll know it's time for me to shut up.
I am gonna bow because my mom picked up my daughter from school, so I'm gonna go walk over and pick her up and get her home. But yeah, we can wrap it up for sure. That was fun.
Yeah, we're gonna do this again. I just want you to know that right off the bat, we're gonna do this again because I had a blast. And
hopefully, I have a project that I can promote.
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank our very special guest, Karen. Am I saying it right? Is it Cliche?
Yep.
Okay.
You didn't say cliche. Good for you.
No, I was paying attention.
Yeah.
And I also like to thank our wonderful people in the chat. This has been amazing. Thank you guys so much for your support. Yeah, this has been great. I can't thank you enough, Karen. And
thank you. Je vais dire ça pour Amy. Merci beaucoup. Puis bonne journée. Puis je te souhaite tout le bonheur. Puis le Patrick, il comprend absolument rien, mais c'est correct. C'est entre nous.
I think the only thing I heard was my name.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's like everybody come over and watch this.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. You guys are saying, okay, yes. All right, then that's it. I'll be back here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back here tonight, and we'll be talking to actor Michael Baker at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Next week, we will be talking to Dennis Mallon on Tuesday, the 19th. On the 20th, we'll be talking to Josh Gilmer, and on the 21st, we'll be talking to Carolina Jeanette. That's it for me. I will talk to you soon. Until the next one. Peace.
I just woke him up to say goodbye to everyone. Bye.
Oh,
bye,
Rain. Well, he's really pretty.
He's so cute.
Isn't he?
So sleepy.
Stay right where you're at.
Yeah, take a screenshot.